All right, what's going on, everybody? What are you doing? What are you doing here? I have the chat logs. All right, so it's time to have a one-on-one talk with you guys. I know why you're here. I know what you're doing. I'm talking about drips and why I don't do automatic drip. So here's the thing. There's a lot of brokerages nowadays that let you do a dividend reinvestment plan like automatically, to where you don't have to think about it, which is fine, I guess. If you want to be as hands off with your portfolio as possible, that is okay. You know, I believe that it should be kind of a 50-50 split. I do believe, so for instance, I believe that it's good to have automatic deposits, but at the same time, I firmly also believe that what really needs to be done in the end is this. You need, and this is not financial advice, talk to a financial advisor no matter what I say. I think that, we'll just say I don't mind automatically having money taken from my bank account and put into my brokerage account. That's fine. But any dividend I get, I let it sit in my brokerage account. I don't want to specifically put any of my dividends into the same old, if that makes any sense. There may be other ETFs that I want to put my money into. Maybe other companies that I haven't added to my portfolio. Maybe other companies. I'm trying to sound like Jordan Peterson. You gotta really clean your portfolio. It's crowded. It's over diversified. What are you doing? Actually, I feel like I did a pretty good Jordan Peterson on that one. But overall, I think, I think that drip it's okay if you want to look, if you want to have money automatically taken out of your bank account, that's fine. If you want to have your dividends automatically go right back into the same ETF or stock, whatever you have, that's fine too. Honestly, that is completely your call. I'm just not a big. I guess the thing is, for me, I just don't. I'm not wired that way. I don't mind having money automatically deposited into my, like I said, my brokerage account. That's completely a-okay. My problem is automatically investing into something that maybe I don't firmly believe should be reinvested into. For instance, give me an example. Realty income. Realty income is overvalued, in my opinion. Still a good REIT. I still love the sweet dividend. But there may be a time where I want to put more money into it, and maybe that time wouldn't be now. Maybe there's other REITs out there that I might be interested in that I think are at a lower valuation that don't deserve to be, but that means a better, dividend yield. So I'm not going to automatically reinvest in the same company. If Realty Income gives me a dividend, no, I have to think about where I'm putting my money next. So I think it's good to be involved in your portfolio. And the best way to automatically ensure that you get paid first, by the way, I firmly believe in pay yourself first. I really do. So make sure, I think if you have a problem remembering to put money into your brokerage account, it might be a good idea to set it up to where it automatically takes out a certain amount from your portfolio every 2 weeks. Something to consider. It takes from your bank account to your portfolio. So if you could set that up, most brokerages give you that ability to set that up through an ACH transfer every 2 weeks to a month if you wanted to. Hell, you could even do it weekly if you really chose to. But what am I trying to get at? So what I'm trying to get at is this. I think the depositing of money from your bank account to your brokerage should be automatic. I believe in that wholeheartedly. What I don't believe in is reinvesting in the same company that you got a dividend from automatically. Now, you may manually choose. Like, let's say Realty Income was actually at a decent valuation and I got a dividend from them. Maybe I'm like, you know what? Let's put it back in the same company. there's no other opportunities out there. This is actually a pretty good opportunity still. Screw it. I'll put it in the same company. But I think that dividend reinvestment should be a manual choice and not an automatic one, where you have to think about where you're going to put that dividend next. I also believe in the same thing for the money that's automatically taken from your checking and put into your brokerage. I believe you should manually choose where that goes as well. That's my personal opinion. It keeps you more involved in your portfolio, and as long as you keep in mind that your goal is to buy whatever it is and never sell it, unless you have a swing trading thing going on with part of your portfolio, that's fine too. That's up to you. But if you're looking to be a buy and hold forever, which I think is the best way to go for the most part for most people, it's good. I think it's great to have a variety of ETFs. I really do. Talk to a financial advisor, obviously, before taking that to heart. But I think I don't know. It's my belief. I'm sticking to it. I'm hoping more people can get behind that belief. No promises or guarantees that people will, though, obviously. But yeah, I think the only thing that really should be automatic is the money that's placed into your brokerage account from your checking. So like I said, from your checking account to your brokerage account, that process should be automatic. From once that money's in your brokerage account, though, it's up to you to figure out where it needs to go, what investments it needs to go into. And then from there, when any dividends you get from any of your investments should be manually considered. You should consider where that money's going to go next too. I think it keeps you more involved with your portfolio. Could it turn you into a gambler like Jeremy Lefebvre and Graham Stevens? I don't know. It depends maybe on your temperament, but you got to give yourself a little more credit. I fully believe it's possible. You just got to make sure that your mentality is that anything I'm buying in my brokerage account is meant to never be sold. Now, if you get dividends from your investment and you want to maybe pocket some of the dividend, okay. I think that's reasonable. I really do. I really think it's super reasonable to pocket a dividend. For example, if I get $60 in a month in dividends, I could reinvest those dividends, or if I have some payments I got to make and I just want to get my credit card bills lower, okay, I could use the dividends that I get from my assets to pay down my liabilities. There's plenty of ways you can use a dividend, which is great. But I firmly believe that any dividends you receive are yours to do whatever with. You can keep them. You can keep the dividends sitting in your brokerage account if you're really just wanting to. If you feel like a bear market might happen, you just want to kind of sit on a little bit of a cash pile. I think it's healthy to sit on a little bit of a cash pile in your brokerage to utilize. But I do believe it's best to try to utilize as much cash in your brokerage account that you can. I think that's a good thing. But yeah, I think my priority, and I think the priority is I think the reason I'm not like anybody else in how I spend my money is because my priority is to invest and not to consume. I think a lot of people's priorities are super skewed. Most people's priorities are consume, pay your bills, then pay yourself first. It should be pay yourself first and focus on investing primarily. That your assets are your friends, not your money. Your money is not your friend. If you think, okay, let me take that back. Money can be an ally, but it's not a friend. Money is an ally because it can be utilized to buy assets. Does that make sense? So if you're buying assets, you're good because I think of assets like a golden goose, and I think a dividend like the eggs. If you sell your assets, you're basically selling or killing. We're going to be a little violent with this metaphor here. You're killing the golden goose, which produced the golden eggs. My point being, and here's my point. Selling any asset that you have is basically the same as killing the golden goose, which is one of the reasons why I love stocks that give me a dividend. I can hold on to these stocks forever. I know that they're good companies with good cash flow. I know they can pay the dividend. It's boring. It's absolutely boring. There's no excitement. There's no 10x. But the dividend snowball effect is real, by the way. It's a real thing. You could say I'm proof to a degree. You could say I'm proof to a degree. I'm trying to sound like Jordan Peterson. Again, you gotta clean your room, clean your portfolio. It's a mess. All you have is tattooed chef. But no, the thing is, I hope a lot of this makes sense to you guys. Like I said, not a financial advisor. Always consult with a financial advisor before you do anything. These are my opinions, and that's really all they are at the end of the day. At the other end of the day, oh my god. But trying to think if there's anything else I want to add to this, but I really do think you guys are smart enough to figure out a lot of the things you need to do. I think in a lot of instances, people tend to underestimate their abilities. I think that if you set your priorities straight, if you recognize that you have a lot of bad consumer behaviors, then you need to not get rid of those behaviors, but you need to prioritize something better than consumer behaviors. And I think you need to prioritize investor behaviors. And what does an investor do? An investor wants to invest. Just wants to throw their money in investments. And honestly, if most people, I have a buddy of mine, I won't name him, but if my buddy threw more dollars at investments rather than strippers, he'd be a rich man. That's all I'm saying. He'd have a consistent flow of income because all he did instead of throwing money at strippers, which honestly are by the way, that's the one thing I know. People, I don't know why people are so vitriolic to me towards this. I don't like strippers. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't like strippers. I understand they got a baby to feed. I get it. I know they got a coke habit that they got to feed too. But I honestly, not gonna lie, I used to do chatterbait webcam modeling and jerk off for dudes. I even look down on myself for that. I think it's funny. I think it's a funny time in my life. But personally, I think it's just idiotic. Because you're so, I honestly do feel bad because it's like you're selling a dream to somebody who's hopeless. It's almost worse than being a cult leader if you think about it. Because when I was on chatterbait, gay men would jerk off to me. They'd give me some money. Cool. I look like a twink. Okay. But in a sense, I honestly was not doing the world any good because I was selling a false dream to somebody. I think that's what strippers do to a lot of these dudes. Luckily, I see through all the BS. I wouldn't say all the BS in life, but I do see through most of it. Strippers are bullshit. Don't like strippers. I think that and maybe it's because naturally, maybe I'm just a very Jewish man. I don't know. But I honestly, strippers are a money black hole. So I don't support strippers. I mean, I hope they do well. Good for them. At least they're not killing people, as far as we know. But no, I just don't. It's like so there's a few professions that I consider a sociopath's profession. One is stripping, which I honestly think there's a sociopathic side to me that even allowed myself to do chatterbait back in the day. But I think I understand that people, it is good money, and the theory could also hold that the dudes who are throwing the money, like the dudes who are throwing all the money at the chicks, maybe they do deserve to be broke, for being so easily fooled by, what's worse, an actual pyramid scheme or a strip club? I don't know. There's no ROI except and my buddy, as much I love him, and I'm not going to give too many details, but it's like, I've tried telling him. And my brother, I'll tell you this, my brother, he's not as bad. My brother's not as bad, but I don't. Anytime I go to the strip club, and the strippers hate me for this. The only time I go to the strip club is when my brother or one of his friends are there and they want me to come along. I'll humor them. But Strippers don't like me because I don't give them any money at all. Not a dime. $0. Zero. Because a lot of them are methed out. They're on coke, and I honestly don't feel like supporting some dumb broad's coke habit. I don't like strippers. So that's by the way, that's probably one of the realest rants you're getting. I mean, I have a lot of real rants, to be honest, but it's one of those rants that even my girlfriend hates it. Like the fact, like I'm so vitriolic towards strippers. I really am. Like I think that they're the modern. Well, they're the reason that the tales of the siren were written. It's women like that. Those women who strip. I think that those women are just. I don't think they're evil, but I don't think they're naturally good either. I think they're just drug addicts who like to take their clothes off. That's pretty much it. So Bachelor's Inn, by the way, which is the local strip club in this town. I'm giving Bachelor's Inn free advertising, by the way. By the way, if you guys do want methed out strippers and cokehead strippers, Bachelor's Inn where it's at. So go do it down. I'm pretty sure Bachelor's Inn's got the greatest methed out strippers of all time. I really hate. I'm not even. I just don't get strip clubs, man. I don't get it. It's selling. People who go there are just being sold a stupid illusion. Just watch porn. Like, seriously, man. Like, I don't get it. Like, we live in the age of internet porn. Maybe I could understand, like, strip clubs maybe, like, in the 50s, I guess. 60s, 70s, when porn was not accessible. But honestly, porn's accessible just if you want to I don't know. Get a good internet connection. Subscribe, I don't know, to some cheap ass 4K subscription for porn and go to town. It's honestly probably more realistic than the actual strip clubs. That's all I got to say. So anyway, that's my crazy rant on why I really don't like strippers. I just don't. Like, I just don't. Holy shit, man. I wish I could explain to you where it all comes from. I wish I could. Yeah, so if you want more money to invest with, and you want to make sure that you're doing, the right stuff, stop paying strippers, and then, like I said, my buddy though would have a lot more money to invest and put into his brokerage account and just buy dividend stocks that would in turn pay him a dividend every like quarter or month, depending on which kind of ETF or stock he gets himself into. But yeah, and hopefully, I will say, hopefully the strippers that are getting all this cash can put it into an investment rather than a coke habit. So that's probably not going to happen because honestly, strippers and coke very likely more than anything go hand in hand. I think cocaine is a stupid fucking drug, by the way. I first off, I think, I will say this. Living in the town that I've lived in my whole life makes me hate drugs so much. I also don't really like to associate with people who do coke. And I love my buddy. He's a good dude. He's the guy I was talking about with the strip club habit. I know that he does some of that shit, and it bugs the shit out of me. I care about him though. He's basically like a brother to me, so there's some people, even if they do coke, that I won't cut them out of my life, because I care about them. But like, I really hope they stop it. I really do, because I think, what turns into a small innocent habit, it's just like when I was younger. I used to smoke cigarettes occasionally. But what turned into occasionally, because nicotine's addictive, and so is cocaine, by the way. Just saying. What turned into a very small habit quickly turned into me smoking basically half a pack a day. It was bad. And don't get me wrong, I love cigarettes. I love smoking cigarettes. Like, I cannot lie. I still do every now and then. If a friend of mine comes over, I'll smoke a cigarette. But outside of that, whew, it's rough, man. Anyway, that's all I got on that one. So in summary, no, I don't do the automatic drip. I have a dividend. By the way, I do have a dividend reinvestment plan. It's just not an automatic one. It's not one I let the brokerage do automatically for me. I do like having the brokerage automatically deposit money from my checking to my brokerage account, so that way I have money pouring into my brokerage from my bank account. That's awesome. It makes the process easy. I don't have to think about it. And once I see more money in there, I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm putting that money, OMG, into more investments. Because honestly, save your assets, not your money. One more time, save your assets, not your money. All right. I think I've lectured you guys long enough. Had you guys sit on my lap for too long. Sorry about that, okay? Jeez. Anyway, thank you guys. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.